Time to see what is hiding up at the church. Sorry, cathedral. Heimdall Cathedral. A man Gaia said people wish to speak to us. Probably take a while. Should probably take care of any unfinished business. The story progresses upon entering a cathedral. All additional challenge elements will end. That is very much a point of no return message if ever I've seen one. Here's where guys tells us is what part of the grass we're to, I'm sure. Must be important with a block scene. No one's here. How could this cathedral be so completely empty?
You've arrived at last.
Oh, you're from Leaves Chapel, Sister Rean. I heard rumours, but wait, what guys and I were talking about? Was someone expecting you to show up here? But your main objectives are different, right?
Yes, it's good to see you all again. Please, come in. They're waiting for you just over there.
Who would we have here?
Ah, I'm glad you all finally made it. The church has decided this issue now merits the attention of the Congregation for the Sacraments. As such, the Archbishop and all the staff here have been moved to another location.
Huh? You're... I get it now. Huh? You're a former instructor from Thors Branch Campus. Thomas?
Thank you for all your diligence, Rosine. I'd feel much better if you were to stand watch over the front door now, just in case.
Yes, understood. Leave it to me.
What was that all about? Yes, it was pretty shocking to us too.
Let me introduce you. This man is a member of the Grolsritter, a division of the Septian Church. He's the second in command, in fact. Thomas Lysander. He holds the seat of Second Dominion and is sometimes known by his title, the Partitioner.
We're Grolsritter? They're an armed knight organisation that is run by the church. I'd heard of a female terrorist, S, was once amongst their ranks. Wait a minute! Guys, does this mean... Are you...
Now allow me to introduce you. This man is one of the Grolsritter's 12 Dominion, the successor to the 8th Dominion, Gaius Warzel.
But why? This is why we couldn't get hold of you for about the past 6 months.
Yeah, a lot happened all at once. After graduating from Thors, I returned to Nord and began observing the struggle between Erebonian and Calvert. However, I began to feel something dark and sinister carried on the winds of the plateaus. I consulted my father and the chief, and eventually my old teacher, Father Barkhorn, came to visit. You might remember the name. He was the traveling priest we chased after during the Civil War. But it turns out, he was also the 8th Dominion of the Grolsritter, with the title the Roaring Lion. He was an extremely skilled knight, who investigated the Salt Pale in Northumbria and trained Brigadier General Bardius. Apparently, he was worried, and came to Nord to check up on me. He explained to me that what I had been sensing was called the Gale of Ruin. I'm not sure why I'm able to sense it. Maybe it's because I'm a descendant of those who fought alongside the Lionheart Emperor. I mentioned this to him and he came to a realization, but then it happened. A Calvardian ship that broke past the 7th Armored Division attacked my village. My father was away at the time, right as I prepared myself for death. And as he lay there dying, he passed his stigma onto me. Across the nearly 1,000-year history of the Grolsritter, its highest-ranking members have each borne one of 12 sacred markings. This was one of those markings.
The Roaring Lion. I've heard that name many times. You say many people were affected by the disaster in Northumbria. Yes, among the current Dominion members, he is the most veteran. After a stigma was passed to Gaius, I took him to a holy city of Arteria, where he received knight training. Hence his half year of silence. If that's what's happening, you should have told us. Yeah, we could have helped you. It's okay, everything happened so quickly. I did everything I had to do, finished my night training. Last month, Justice was finally able to reach me. The power received from my master. With it, I will save the Empire and my second home as a member of Class VII. Sheesh. You've always been so grand and reliable. Thank you, Gaius. Please lend us your strength. Yes, I will give you my all. Seeing someone like him puts us even more pressure. Yeah, the gap isn't just in its age or experience. This group certainly has become awfully formidable. Not really. We're sort of training just as much as you guys. I have a ways to go before I reach the heights of my predecessors, and speaking of which...
Grandmother! Stop hiding! Come out already! You're the one who called us here in the first place, aren't you?
I only hid myself so as not to interrupt your discussion.
So not only do we have two dominions here, we also have the leader of the Hexen clan. You're Emma's grandmother. The elder of the witches. Roselia, was it?
Indeed. But you may simply call me Rose. I had you all gather here for one reason. To explain to you the background between the Hexen clan and the church.
Oh, I see, so that's how it is. But aren't the witches opposed to a church?
It's not as though we don't believe in Adios. There have been some differences in opinion over the years, but we and the church have worked together on a number of occasions.
For example, during the War of the Lions, or the vampire incident in the Middle Ages. Not to mention the fight against the Dark Dragon 800 years ago.
But all that was just Rose sticking her nose into other people's business.
Huh? Wait, so you're involved in all that?
Legend has it, Emperor Dreikel's camp was once visited by a good witch, and the novel Red Moon Rose features a vampire hunter affiliated with the church who was, in truth, the true ancestor of the vampires. The woman you now see before you was both of these people, even if she looks a bit different.
How do you exactly?
800 or so. However, you should know that my situation is somewhat unique. All other witches are normal humans. Except, of course, for the fact that they are all descendants of those who once guarded the Septarian of Fire.
The Septarian of Fire? Is that the same as the Aureole of Liberl and the Great Tree of Crossbell? The Septarians, the 7 gifts bestowed on humanity by Eidos. It said they once all lost during the Great Collapse 1200 years ago. But the things Ouroboros have been trying to get their hands on. Yeah, now for our main topic. Now, where to begin? Grandmother, we don't know anything beyond this. Don't leave out any details. Make sure you explain it fully. I second my request. I don't know all the details either. Let's see. Roselia, perhaps we should start taking turns talking. Very well, that shall suffice. I'm sure we've noted that by now, but there's a front and back to this empire. The spirit veins are directly affected by the turbulence of the governments and war, and that causes cryptids and powerful monsters on other planes to stir. The empire's territory spreads, so will they. But Pyromograph and magic knights, where do they come from? Well, to begin, Pyromograph is a mana grass from the higher planes. It once served as the eyes and ears of the Septarian of Mirage. Normandy is blue, but after the incident in Crossbell it all vanished. That is until Crossbell officially became part of the Empire, at which point it began reappearing in its new scarlet shade. The implications are rather chilling. Changed colour to match the infernal castle perhaps. There's undoubtedly a connection. As the magic knights you may have already heard before, but they are golems from the Dark Ages. They are created by the mages of the Empire to fight against the Divine Knights. During the Civil War, something caused them to stir once more and may now appear in Crossbell via the Spirit Path. I would also explain why we increase in incidents with cryptids. What about society? phantasmal blaze plan. They sought to use Crossbow's false phantasm to awaken a blaze in Erebonian. At least that's what I've heard. Seriously? So that's their plan. Where'd you hear that? Last night, I heard it from a Chancellor himself. He told me some other intriguing things too. I feel like he intentionally left out some of the more important details. I heard you talk to him, but his Ouroboros' working crossbow 2 years ago was to bring about some kind of change to Erebonian. Just so you know, crossbows from our Septarian was an artificially created fake. It's stronger than the original, but society had no interest in it. Why did I hazard a guess their goal was to acquire the 2 treasures that originally existed here? Septarians of Fire and Earth, but once called the land of Erebos' home. The Septarians of Fire and Earth. So the bow had Septarians of Space, Crossbow Mirage, Erebonian had 2 Septarians. Hold on a sec. Anyway, if the witches are descendants of the people who guarded the Septarian of Fire, when the Black Workshop and the Gnomes are the same people, the descendants of those who guarded the Septarian of Earth. They're our counterparts. Much like the Royal Orsalis family of Libel, and the Core family of Crossbow. In addition, you may be aware that each Septarian has its own holy beast assigned to watch over it. Libel had an ancient dragon, Crossbow had a divine wolf. And as it had 2 Septarians, Erebonian had 2 holy beasts as well. However, after a great collapse, each of them vanished alongside Septarian they were to oversee. That is there is the core of the issue. 2 Septarians are 2 groups of people who worship them, and were 2 holy beasts. Septarians and holy beasts disappeared, and the people changed their names. What happened in Erebonian 1200 years ago? Allow me to reveal to you the truth behind the land of Ouroboros. This story still relies on a modicum of speculation. Please keep that in mind.
In the beginning, this land housed 2 of the Septarians. The Arc Rouge, Septarian of Fire and wielder of fierce power.
The Arc Rouge?
The Lost Zem, Septarian of Earth and bearer of unyielding endurance. Each assumed the form of a colossal guardian and went about granting boons and performing miracles for its people. For a few centuries, the land of Erebonian prospered. But eventually, its people began to vie for power and control. The Septarians had always granted their people's wishes. But now, their peoples each wished for the other's destruction. And so, the 2 colossi began fighting. Their battle ravaged the earth and split the sky, devastating the entire region. The humans tried to stop them, but it was in vain. The Septarians' fight continued 1,000 days, scorching the land black. When the battle ended at long last, it was a tie. Exhausting their power in one final strike, the 2 Septarians were blown away, left as nothing but empty shells. Yet the tale did not end there.
The power expelled by each Septarian collided and became one, resulting in the creation of an entirely new entity. The Great One, the Septarian of Steel. It was an existence created from the union of fire and earth. It was beyond anything else in this realm. It was the ultimate source of power. Though things seemed fine at first, the survivors of the war soon realized the eternal conflict within it. They knew this conflict would cause it to grow ever more unstable, and that it was not something that could be handled by mankind.
With the Holy Beast's assistance, the kins of fire and earth joined together to see the Great One sealed away. However, each of their attempts ended in failure. Left with no other options, they resorted to their final plan. The Great One would remain whole in the higher plane, yet its physical incarnation in this world split into numerous shards. It was this final gambit that saw disaster averted.
Indeed. Their combined efforts bore fruit. The kin of Earth created 7 vessels, while the Kin of Fire split the Great One's power and infused each vessel with a part of it.
7 dolls in the form of knights, each bearing the Great One's power, the Divine Knights.
Wow. That's beyond fathomable. I was told about this in bits and pieces, but so all that happened 1200 years ago. That wasn't a fairy tale, right? At least something very similar happened. So what happened after that? Why did Valimar and the Divine Knights start fighting? This is as far as the story passed down goes. So Kin of Fire became a Hexen clan. Kin of Earth became the Gnomes. Specifically unstable ultimate power into 7. Both sides decided to watch over reconstruction after a great collapse. By the way, many people from each kinship have since abandoned their roles. They joined together, started accepting people from our surrounding area, and became a foundation of what became Erebonian. This is around the same time the Septian Church was spreading across Erebonian. 300 years passed, and the Arnor family established the city of Heimdall. That's when a disaster occurred of a dark dragon.
900 years ago, Heimdall was a small city of only about 50,000 people. However, it was one of the burgeoning centers of culture for the region. The Septian Church had finished construction on the Heimdall Cathedral, and there were plans to develop the city even further. But it was then the Dark Dragon appeared, blanketing Heimdall in miasma and transforming it into a city of the dead. Emperor Astorius chose to lead his people south and made Sainark the new capital of Erebonia.
In helping Emperor Astorius deal with this crisis, the Hexen clan and gnomes each suffered substantial losses. The Hexen clan lost its elder, and the gnomes their holy beast. And so ended their alliance. The final time they spoke would be a century later. It was when Emperor Hector awakened the Vermilion Knight to reclaim Heimdall from the Dark Dragon. He did so at the urging of the chief of the gnomes and the new elder of the Hexen clan, myself. However, the Emperor fell to the Dark Dragon's miasma, and the Vermilion Knight to its curse. The Emperor's son had the chief of the gnomes and myself seal the cursed knight deep below the Imperial Palace. That would be the last act our 2 clans performed together. I do not know why, but the gnomes cut off contact with our clan and hid themselves away. In the 800 years that followed, whenever war struck Erebonia, a divine knight would enter the stage, demonstrate its might, then vanish. I was certain the gnomes were involved, yet all we could do was guide awakeners on the proper course. This unending pattern reached its most fevered peak 250 years ago during the War of the Lions. The false Emperor Orthros unearthed the cursed Vermilion Knight, and a mercenary under Prince Lucius' employ awakened the Palatinate Knight. Prince Dreichels found the Ashen Knight, and Leanne the Argent Knight. The 4 awakened at once, made for a grand war indeed.
So that's how things connect. That's only part of the story I want to question, but Semma's grandma was around during the War Alliance. A good witch. I've heard about them in fairy tales. As a princess guide, I accompanied her to Dreichels' camp. I remember those days. Usually quite the beauty. All I mean to say is the art of depictions of me are not inaccurate. As stated earlier, the elder of the witches isn't normally human. So we're watching over a clan after becoming an immortal being. Yes, however, only came into existence 800 years ago. My predecessor perished soon afterwards. I do not have many memories from before that point. So naturally, there are things that I still do not know. There are things that you do know about, such as how you stated Maiden Leanne was awakened of the Argent Knight, and whether or not she is Ouroboros' Steel Maiden. That's true, you could confirm so many things. It is her, of that I am certain. She was the daughter of a count who met the Wandering Prince and later challenged the Apocalypse, only to lose her life. However, before that happened, it was I who guided Leanne to become the Argent Awakener. But Leanne knew her powers were too great, so she kept her hidden away. So during a battle of the apocalypse that she unleashed her full might. In the end, however, she was fatally injured and passed away after the war. And a half later, I witnessed her revival, along with your ancestor Arsaid, second in command of the Eisenritter. So that's why. Were you the one who revived her grandmother? That's what I'd like to know too. After Leanne passed, I thought it strange how her body did not rot. So I took her body back to her village. Half a year later, she simply woke up. I assumed she'd become immortal, though I could not say when or how. Leanne realised what happened to her. She left Erebonian to walk the earth, without even telling her loved Rykals. She left Legram to Arsaid, her right-hand man. I occasionally met with her when she came around, but last time was 20 years ago. That's when she met Ouroboros' grandmaster who brought her into her fold. Thanks for sharing this. There's some things that can't be overlooked. Yeah, we've seen too many incredible things over the last few months. So Boss and Crow were... As I said earlier, we have no idea what specifically happened. With Kier's Divine Knight, the Jaeger King was not an Awakener when he was alive. On the other hand, Rykals was an Awakener. He did not become immortal. He has remained dead. Instructor Rean isn't immortal, is he? Right, he's still been growing since graduating. Yeah, I may have some weird powers, but I'm definitely aged. Is there a common reason? I believe there's only two people who know the truth, the current Chancellor and the Chief of the Gnomes, Black Iberic. So that's the leader of the Black Workshop. Yes, but I do not believe he is immortal like me. The leadership of the Gnomes is somehow passed down from one leader to the next, in order for them to achieve their goal of bringing around the Great Twilight. It's the first I've heard of it. Is that the fairy tale of the end that Rita was talking about? Yes, 800 years ago we were going our separate ways. This is what the Chief of Gnomes and the Prince told me. As he was foretelling a future where everything ends. Too much similar to the direction the Empire is heading. Let me add to this. The reason Barkhorn and I were in Erebonian was because we discovered an anomaly. The spirit veins were distorted over the continent, and the source seemed to emanate from the Empire. It was like a ripple effect. The incidents in the Burl and Crossbell, as well as the Civil War in Erebonian, only served to further increase the distortions. They continued to get larger after Crossbell and Northumbria were folded into the Empire. Larger again when the cryptids and magic knights of Erebonian in Crossbell. The other hand, Paloma grass, which is native to Crossbell, started blooming in the Empire. The Great Twilight is really about to happen, when all of this seems to be an omen of things to come. Who is this Albrecht person? He was a masked man as his agent, and hired a Jaeger King who was supposed to be dead. Are there other gnomes out there? Well, your dear rabbit friend may technically count, but... Besides a masked man, their leader seems to have at least one of acting agent. I cannot say who this person may be, but it would seem they're a talented craftsman. Oh, and before you jump to conclusions, I'm not speaking about little Bratch Schmidt. It seems the person I speak of possesses a different kind of genius than he does. A talented craftsman. That's putting unpleasant ideas in my head. Yes, definitely George. In any event, Albrecht and the Chancellor are probably connected. It's unlikely to be through the Intelligence Division or his children. The incidents of last night, things have already been put in motion. Why'd you say that? Last night we finally decoded a black record you found the other day. Oh, black records are collected in a particular type of artifact someone was found in Erebonian. I was actually exchanging information about them with Rean. Right before you graduated, he revealed his true identity to me. He told me not to tell anyone. I hope you don't hold it against me. Instructor, I mean Father Thomas. Sheesh, you probably took advantage of Rean's sense of responsibility, didn't you? Well, I can't deny it. In any event, that's what the updated black record said.
When the sacrifice is made and the ancient blood flows, the path to the Grawl of Erebos shall open. When the tainted holy beast is pierced by the blade of World's End, and its blood fills the Grawl, the great twilight shall fall upon the land.
Ah. The timing's too perfect. the prophecies were written about our current situation. The ancient blood is referring to the Emperor, when a sacrifice referring to Ash. What about Graal on the blade? The Graal is probably related to the Septian Church and the tainted Holy Beast. Father Thomas, could that be... Yes, it was stated earlier, Gaius. There's a sacred place beneath this cathedral, over a primal ground, a backup facility which was designed to play a major role after a great collapse. 900 years ago, when Heimdall was shrouded in darkness, it retreated beneath here and disappeared. Heard about such a facility in Lebel. Yes, there's one beneath the Grand Soul Cathedral in Lebel too. However, when Heimdall was retaken, the space beneath the cathedral was buried by a rock. What if it didn't appear, just simply transferred somewhere else? The Holy Beast mentioned in the prophecy is likely the Holy Beast of Earth, and as I said before, it disappeared after a disaster 900 years ago. It's only speculation, but I believe a dark dragon you faced the other day was merely a servant to a true Holy Beast. I assume a dark dragon wasn't the cause of everything? It was indeed a powerful cryptid, not something the witches and gnomes could take care of together. The Holy Beast gave birth to a dark dragon and is still alive somewhere. Where else could it be but the primal ground? This has got to be a joke. Regarding this blade of world's end that defeats the Holy Beast, another scriptures is called the Originator Zero. I'm speculating it's a special weapon created by the Black Workshop. At the very least, it probably isn't anything like what the boss uses. I think it's made using Zamorian ore, like the weapons used by the Divine Knights.
Muse?
Is something the matter?
Oh?
You realize something?
Right now, we need any straw we can grasp at.
Anything at all could help, no matter how small.
Yes, you're right. That term. Originator Zero. Could that be OZ, perhaps?
That's what the Black Workshop called Millium and Altina.
They're model numbers.
OZ.
Oh, what are you talking about?
So you finally made it.
Oh!
That voice.
Vita! Ah, so the prodigal granddaughter returns.
Misty, Vita.
I heard you had been acting on your own.
Nice to see you again, grandmother. Emma, Celine, and Class VII too. And thank you for mediating, Mr. Lysander.
Oh, don't even mention it. It always breaks my heart to see a family torn apart so.
Vita! Why? You really don't plan on ever coming back, do you?
That's correct. As I said before, my allegiance will forever lie with the Grandmaster. I can't return to you and grandmother. I can never go back to the way I used to be, just like the Steel Maiden.
Seriously, who even is this Grandmaster person?
I have no clue. But it is clear she is quite taken with them. So do tell, Vita. If you have not decided to return to us, why show yourself now? Has Ouroboros finally decided upon its course of action?
Yes. After our experiments with the 3 ions, the 6 other Anguis came to a unanimous decision. They decided to ignore my warning. They will work with the Chancellor and the Gnomes to bring about the Great Twilight, completing the Phantasmal Blaze Plan.
So that's how it is. The reason Ouroboros was so quiet the past month wasn't because they left Erebonia.
It was to carry out their plan and determine whether they should work alongside enemies and traitors.
How can that be? If that were the case, it means...
They're all our enemies?
Is this?
It's not the cathedral's bell.
It's a crossbow.
Huh? I think I recognize it from Crossbell.
You do?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I remember hearing it right before the incidents in Crossbell, when we were still independent. Oh! The one from the museum!
The bell from Stargazer's tower?
But the sound's coming from a different direction than the museum.
The Phantasmal Blaze Plan. What a fitting name. I wonder how much of this she foresaw.
That is quite enough mumbling to yourself.
It'll be a bit tough without Grianos. I'll need your help, Grandmother. Emma, Celine, you too.
Yes! Ugh, I'm not your slave.
Ah, that's why we couldn't go there. My love. Sorry, I saw Jubilee. Sharon. Sharon's here with Ouroboros, clearly. There's George. What do we call him? Georg or something like that?
Now then, let's say we celebrate the continuation of the Phantasmal Blaze plan by ringing in the Great Twilight. I, Enforcer number 0, the Fool, shall play the opening note. Egg.
Check that out!
Huh. Sure is something.
Well, how about that?
So, the beginning of the end, is it?
Deja vu.
The Grawl of Erebos. Just as the Black Records foretold.
The crypt where the great power will be reborn.
Rean. Uses.
Couldn't have guessed this is how my day would turn out when I woke up this morning.
Let us begin. It is time Chief of the gnomes and head of the workshop, show me the way, Black Alberic.
As you wish, my lord.
Rufus. Millium.
Was that... Allie?
Yes. But why?
Boss, Zeno, and Leo.
Azure Siegfried.
And that guy in the lab coat. Isn't that...
The blazing demon and the fool were there as well.
So that's the maiden.
Why?
We just spoke this morning and... What's going on?!
Lisa.
That man's name was Lumen or something like that, right? His hair looked different.
Franz Lumen, the first disciple of G. Schmidt, and the deceased husband of the Reinford Group's chairman. Also known as Franz Reinford.
Ah, so he has been lurking in the shadows these past 20 years.
Yes. Perhaps for the sake of working with the Chancellor, to engineer this very moment.
Elisa!
Snap out of it! Now's not the time! As a bracer, I can't just sit here and let them pull off whatever that Twilight crap is they're planning. How about all of you?
She's right. We can't stop here.
100%.
We gathered together to do whatever we could to help. Our goal remains unchanged.
Yep, true.
Elisa, let's go.
Yeah.
Well, Vita, what will you do now?
Well, I'd like to charge in there alongside the rest of you, mostly out of spite. Unfortunately, I suspect things won't be quite that easy.
What do you...
Something's...
There's a turbulent swirl in the mana.
Was that?
I believe so.
Father Thomas, Father Gaius, cryptids and magic knights have appeared all over the city.
Oh, you can now come and watching this. You don't have to stop watching it. It's been a long episode, but I wasn't stopping back for anything. I could let you watch the entire thing if you want. Because thanks for watching, a wonderful day, and bye-bye.